Lois begins an investigation in Action Comics issue 973. Being alerted to a movement within his Fortress of Solitude in the Himalayas, Superman arrives to find John Henry Irons and an unconscious Lana Lang, both whom need help since Lana is dying. In Metropolis, the other Clark Kent, Maggie Sawyer, and an undercover Lois Lane set up a sting operation in hopes to trap a councilman and some corrupt cops in their illicit dealings. Maggie isn't all too happy with Clark and Lois's plan, but goes along with it so as not to compromise Lois's cover as a waitress. It's not long, however, until Clark jumps the gun and goes in after Lois, who has already been gotten into a spot of trouble herself. Lois is able to look after herself, however, as Clark clumsily arrives with Maggie in tow. Lois is still suspicious of this Clark though, wanting to know a bit more about who he is exactly. After the operation is over, Lois secretly follows Clark home, which happens to be the same building the pre-Flashpoint Clark lived in before marrying Lois. Going inside, she talks to the security guard who says that he hasn't seen Clark in months. Even CCTV footage shows no sign of Clark. Back at the fortress, Superman has Calyx run some figures and try to figure out what is wrong with Lana and why they can't stop her cellular degeneration. Realizing he might know how to get her some help, Superman tells John Henry to follow him as quickly as possible. At the Daily Planet, the Bullpen congratulate Lois on her takedown of the councilman and the cops. Going to her office, she finds Clark waiting for her with flowers. Apologizing for his actions the night before, he asks if Lois would like to go to dinner with him. Deciding that this could be a way to discover his secret and who Clark is, Lois agrees. Somewhere else, a military outfit tracks Superman. Their leader, Dr. Hank Henshaw, knows this being is definitely Superman and intends to find out what he is hiding in the Himalayas. Man, that was a big issue. A lot happened this issue, along with beginning a new arc that looks to either reveal that the duplicate Clark Kent is not Clark Kent, but it also builds it up for Superman Reborn. Maybe it will be the reveal there, and this is sort of the primer to that series. We also got the return of this world's Hank Henshaw, which I'm sure people remember from the Lois and Clark miniseries that Clark helped save. It seems that he's still kind of obsessed with Superman and looking to find his fortress, which contains all the villains that locked up, some of which we actually saw this issue, especially Blank, who was the main villain of that Lois and Clark storyline. It seems there's also a little bit of symmetry going here because we have Superman who has this prison and he's got all these prisoners and they're all locked up in cells that have glass walls and everything so they can see everything. And Mr. Oz has the exact same thing as well, so I think that's pretty interesting, and it kind of just reminded me of the prison that Superman has. I kind of completely forgot about it, mainly because we haven't really been to the fortress all that much during his run on Superman. Been there here and there, and usually they don't focus on that part. John Henry is also formally introduced to this Superman. They kind of sort of met during the final days of Superman, but not really, so this is sort of like their introduction. They didn't get a lot of time to speak because of obviously the situation with Lana, but I imagine maybe next issue they'll get time to sort of bring things down and just sort of kind of reintroduce themselves to each other and who exactly they are and everything. So I can't wait till next issue. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Remember to leave a comment in the comment section below or follow the links on screen now to other reviews or topic videos. If you haven't already, remember to subscribe for more weekly reviews and videos.